Hello. Hey. Okay, so this is part 2 of our series on the top 5 mistakes that entrepreneurs make. And I called my guy over here today because I just got off the phone with someone. We had a lengthy conversation. And this follows suit with a meeting that I had with a mastermind that I had last week as well. As far as when you're an entrepreneur, we already talked about the biggest issue is cash flow, right? But when I got off the phone call, the main point of this conversation was the biggest challenge that entrepreneurs have so often is self-accountability. And this is something that you really don't think about, right? Like you're an entrepreneur, you're driven, you've got this vision, you're ready to go do it, and you feel like you're unstoppable, right? You can go out, you can do whatever you need, you've got all the resources that you want, you've checked your cash flow, you've done, big elephant in the room, number one, you've taken care of that cash flow issue. However, now you're rolling along and you're kind of not motivated and you're not sure maybe about what you should be doing next. And so as we were brainstorming, as I was on this phone conversation, I was like, okay, well, what does it take? So I started a few notes and I want you guys to follow me into the board and we're going to talk through some steps that you can take to up the ante in your self-accountability, if you will. All right, because this is, like I said, it's an area, it's the number 2 problem when I polled people that they have when they're doing their own business. So let's dive in and let's get rolling. So follow me and we're gonna discuss this and dissect this a little bit. Okay, so we've got self-accountability and the biggest question is, what does that take, right? What does it take for self-accountability as a entrepreneur? When you're a solopreneur, when you're first starting out, generally you don't have employees, you don't have an admin person to keep you on task. Heck, you don't even have a video guy, right? That's like, hey, we're doing this today at 11, you better be ready or it's not gonna happen, right? So you're kind of just floundering and you're trying to figure things out on your own. So number 1, the best thing you can do is to network. Network. This is huge when you are a solopreneur, entrepreneur. When you network, you are putting yourself out there in a way where you are somewhat accountable to the public eye, right? You've got to present yourself. You've got people are asking, so what are you actively working on? What clients do you have? This, that, and the other thing. If you don't have any answers for that, there's this level of like, oh shit, I'm not doing my job, right? So when you're out there networking and you establish this network of people, not only that, you find the people that you need. This is how I found my guy holding the camera right here, right? Was through my network. It's how I found my virtual assistant, through my network. It's how I found my who's the people that do the website, right? The website people, whatever you call those guys. I found them through my network. So not only that, you get the resources that you need through your network. And I know this might sound like, duh, Brenda, of course everybody should network, but here's the deal. I made that mistake. My business was very easy to do online. I often laugh and I say, I did Zoom before Zoom was cool, okay? I rocked Zoom. I did all of my business on Zoom. I had clients globally, and I was doing it all through Zoom. When COVID hit, I took some time off so I could focus on my kids. When I came back, I decided, you know what? I'm going to do this networking thing that everybody talks about, and I had never done it in the city that I live in. Now, I also recognize that I live in a city that it is exceptional as far as the culture here of people being willing and desiring to help every other business. Now, not all cities are that way, and I get that. So that just means you have to do a little bit more homework on the network that you do find. So here, for instance, we've got Tolu. It is one of my absolute favorite networking groups. It has grown and pushed me and stretched me and given me the resources that I will forever be grateful for with my business. There's another one coming back up. It started to die, but I've just had some really good friends take it over. It's called Gavent. We're going to start implementing that, growing that in this area, and there's excellent people in the room in that area, and I can't wait to see what that network group is going to do for us. Of course, there's BNI. BNI is done globally. There's Entrepreneurs Organization. They're an excellent organization that offers a ton of training. There's the chambers. There's all kinds of places that you can go. Like in our area, we have the Idaho Women's Business Association. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's specifically focused on women. And it gives resources and training and guidance on, and we talked about this on the last video, how to get your cash flow, how to get your finances set up well in a way that works good for your company. Okay, so network. Keep accountable to the people that are in that group and get your resources and get relationships with people that are invaluable. I have created lifelong friends that I would do anything for in my network because of putting myself out there and getting to know these people locally. Okay? All right. Number 2 is find a mastermind. Oh, this is such a big deal. And not all masterminds are created equal. You become the sixth of the top 5 people you hang out with. Okay. So when you are finding a mastermind, specifically for your business, we're not talking about relationships. We're not talking about how to parent. We're not talking about what kind of hobbies you have for the weekend, right? We're talking specifically about business. So you want to find the top 5 people in your circle. And I would not do more than 5. A lot of people want to do a mastermind of like 10 to 12 people. It gets too big. It gets too diluted, if you will, where you're not really getting super, super deep with a smaller group of people, and you can't really get to the heart of issues. So when you find a mastermind, make sure that these are people that are successful in business. They're either on their way to success or they're already there. You want a mix of people in the room as well, where people who have been successful, they're willing to pour into newbies, to people who are starting new. I would not be where I am if I didn't have those people. This business that I do now is completely different than all the other businesses I've run in the past, right? It's just a different beast. I needed a mentor. I needed someone to talk to that understood what I was dealing with and navigating. I can't give you a before and after photo of this person who had a radical transformation and now is just rocking life and crushing it, but when they first came to me was ready to commit suicide. Or we can do metrics and numbers with businesses and corporations, but when you're dealing with team leadership development and the transformation personally that they go through, there's no before and after picture for that, right? So selling something along those lines is extremely difficult. It's hard to get the buy-in when you go to like a plastic surgeon and you can see, well, before you look like this and after, you're this whole different creature, right? That can't be presented. So every business has their unique issues, and that was a unique issue for me. You've got unique issues in that area too. So if you can find someone who's just a few years ahead of you, not too far that they forgot where you're at, but they're just a few years ahead of you and they're successful in what they're doing, that way you can tap into that wisdom and that experience and you can utilize their experience. So finding a mastermind is critical. I absolutely recommend you meet with them weekly. And here's why. You will not hold yourself accountable. Remember, we're talking about self-accountability. And if you're not meeting with someone, you don't have to sit across the table from someone. I called my mastermind my boardroom. These are my boardroom people. They hold me accountable, they keep me on track, and they call me out and they have the backbone to say, you didn't do that, how come? They will hold me accountable to that and they will say, this needed to happen, you didn't do it, what's the reason, when are you gonna get it done? We expect you to come back next week and have this accomplished, okay? So a mastermind is critical in your accountability. Okay, number 3 would be find an accountability partner. This is someone who you absolutely trust. You must trust this person. And that goes for the mastermind as well, but trust is critical in this regard. If you are unable and unwilling to share the real deal of exactly what you're going on in your personal life, exactly what's going on in your business, exactly what's going on in your relational life, if you don't have that person that you can truly be totally naked with, literally naked with emotionally, and just say, here's who I am. Here's my weaknesses. Here's my strengths. Here's what I need help with. Here's where I'm struggling. That gives you someone that is an outside perspective. They know you intimately, but they also have an outside perspective and they can have a view that you can't see, right? They can see gaps in your armor. They can see where your strengths are that you may not even recognize and notice. And they can help you and advise you. It's best if this someone is successful at business as well. My best friend is highly successful in her business. Her and I are emotionally, relationally, business. We are so compatible. We literally can sit down and talk for 8 hours at a time, and we can work through all kinds of issues. We bounce from business issues to personal issues to kid issues to parent issues and all of it, right? When you have that person in your life that you're able to be fully vulnerable with, and I don't recommend your accountability partner be your spouse or your partner, especially if you're working together. Do not do that. You're setting yourself up for failure, right? You guys aren't going to keep each other accountable. You're going to give each other excuses like, oh yeah, that was a busy day, so that's why we didn't get through. You're not going to do what she does for me and calls me out on the carpet every time I need it, without shame, without judgment, without anything, okay? So accountability partner is key. And last but not least is get into a routine. This is your own self-accountability. And this is how you can keep yourself accountable for yourself. And what I love to do with this is time blocking. I have days on the calendar where I have certain days that I meet with clients. There are only certain days. Like if you fall between Tuesday and Thursday, then you get to be on my calendar. Monday and Friday, I specifically leave open for admin days, personal days, Costco runs, kids need wrestling shoes, whatever it might be, all those errands that pile up that you and I both know we don't want to do on the weekend because not only is the traffic hell, but I want to be home with my kids when they're home. So my family is a priority. So that's number one. So I block off my weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and the nights that all four of my kids are home because there's 2 nights a week that my oldest son doesn't work. So we all get to be together those nights. Those are nights that are non-negotiables. Mom's home, we're together, we're doing family events, we're doing family activities. Because a part of accountability is making sure that you take care of your self-care, right? You've got to take care of yourself and your home base first before you can be any good to anything outside. And I've got plenty of videos that talk about all that. So you can go hunt those down and find out about that. But we're not going to go into that here. But as I discuss that, I want you to recognize that time blocking is something critical. This is where you literally shut your phone off. So a lot of what I have to do, obviously what I love to do, is teaching, training, all that kind of stuff, right? I literally set aside every Monday afternoon from 2 to 5, there's a block on my calendar where it fills it up. So if I send you my calendar link, you can't schedule a call at that time. It's automatically blocked off. My phone goes on Do Not Disturb. People know that if they call that they're not getting through during that time frame, and there's a reason why. I plug in brain.fm. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it is one of my favorite apps where it helps me focus. In fact, I also do OptiMind. We just talked about this. OptiMind is another supplement I take when I really have to be sharp and focused and on. It's something that keeps me driven and focused. As a single mom of 4 kids running my own business and having the kids without any help from dad, I'm buried 24/7. Every second counts for me. So when I take something like OptiMind and I boost my focus with brain.fm, they've got focus apps in there, focus music in there. It works both sides of your brain to keep you focused, right? I have to do that to maximize every stinking second that I have. And like I said, phone is on Do Not Disturb. Notifications are turned off on my computer. I'm dialed in, I'm focused, I'm getting to work, right? So this is something that absolutely radically changed my life, is time blocking. So, but if you get into routine and you have your basic skeleton of every week's schedule set up, now you've got a routine. That routine should include self-care, right? Getting up first thing in the morning, whether that be meditation and or working out. Working out's a non-negotiable. I say it all the time. It's required care, not self-care. This isn't a privilege to go work out. It's something that's necessary for your body. It's just physically and emotionally and stress level cortisol, especially as an entrepreneur and high achiever. You've got to burn that cortisol in a healthy way so you're not taking it out on your employees when you're frustrated, all right? Or that guy that cut you off, or whoever elbowed you at the grocery store. This is not experience speaking at all, right? Okay, all right. All right, so here's my top 4 ways for you to be self-accountable. Because this is such an issue as entrepreneurs, equip yourself. Get into these groups. Find places where you can have this support. Find somebody that's a great accountability partner that you absolutely trust. Mastermind is key. Mastermind of the trust, like I said before, is critical as well, because you're dumping serious in masterminds. You're not just kind of talking about the superficial level of, oh, I'd like to increase my sales by 10%. You're getting into here's the profit that I did or didn't make this year. These are the numbers, right? You're sharing and divulging every detail of your business openly, honestly, and willingly in a vulnerable way. And you've got to trust those people in that room that they keep that confidential, okay? So as you navigate your stepping into entrepreneurship, use these tools that will equip you to get through. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified when the next video comes up, and share the video, like the video if you know somebody that needs this information. Thank you. Have an awesome day.